Art movements are waves of creative change that shape how artists express reality. The Renaissance revived classical ideals. Realism captured everyday truth. Pop art exploded with the consumer culture. This presentation explores these distinct periods to understand how society and style evolved through art. The Renaissance began in 14th century in Italy, during a cultural rebirth following the Middle Ages. It marked a return to classical knowledge as sparked by the rediscovery of Greek and Roman texts, and fueled by the humanist belief that man, not just God, could be the center of meaning. Renaissance art emphasized harmony, anatomical accuracy, and realistic spatial depth. Artists mastered linear perspective like light and shadow and natural proportions. Themes often included biblical stories and mythological tales, merging faith with a celebration of human beauty. Leonardo da Vinci's Mona Lisa, Michelangelo's The Creation of Adam, and Raphael's School of Athens stand as icons of the Renaissance. These works combine technical mastery with philosophical depth, symbolizing the blend of science, art, and divine inspiration. The Renaissance redefined Western art. It elevated the status of the artist to intellectual, inspired centuries of academic training, and introduced techniques that remain foundational nowadays. It also encouraged an inward look at humanity, making art both sacred and personal.
Compare a flat, symbolic medieval artwork to a Renaissance piece like The Birth of Venus. Suddenly, depth exists. Bodies move, emotions emerge. These weren't just paintings. They were windows into a world where man and myth could exist together, vividly and beautifully. Realism emerged in 19th century France during industrial upheaval and political unrest. It was a reaction against romantic idealism. Artists now turn their gaze to ordinary people and real conditions, giving voice to the overlooked and the working class. Realism rejected fantasy. Artists focused on daily life, harvesters in field, workers breaking stones. No exaggerated glory or tragic heroes, just reality, as it is, raw, gritty, and profoundly human. The goal wasn't to inspire, but to represent truth. Gustave Courbet's The Stonebreakers and Jean-Francois Millet's The Gleaners showed laborers at work, not glorified, just seen. These paintings gave dignity to the marginalized and made art a mirror for social critique, not merely a luxury for the elite.
Realism set the stage for modern movements like Impressionism and even photography. It pushed art towards social commentary and gave rise to political art. It also challenged viewers to engage with the world as it was, not as they wished it to be. Now, compare realism to romanticism. One portrays storms and heroism, the other shows tired peasants. In Courbet's work, there's no symbolism, just labor. A critique of inequality is embedded in each stroke, a silent protest in oil and canvas. Moving forward, pop art burst into the scene in the 1950s in Britain and the US, reflecting post-war consumerism. With advertising, TV, and celebrity culture booming, pop art responded by elevating the mundane and commercial, like Coca-Cola, soup cans, comic strips, into fine art.
Pop art was both bright and ironic. It embraced mass production using commercial techniques like silkscreen. Artists played with parody and repetition, asking, what is art in a world full of images? Is a celebrity photo less valuable than a painting? Andy Warhol's campus soup cans and Roy Lichtenstein's Swim are pop art icons. Warhol treated consumer goods like religious icons. Lichtenstein turned comic books into heroic canvases. They transformed low culture into high art with an apologetic flair.
Art shattered the boundary between fine art and pop culture. It opened doors for graphic design, advertising, and digital media. Today's memes, brand collaborations, and influencer aesthetics all echo pop art's belief that art is everywhere, even in a supermarket. A soup can in a grocery ad and a Warhol soup can painting. The same image, but one is art. Why? Because pop art asks us to question authorship, meaning, and value. Its genius lies in its simplicity and provocation.
The Renaissance idealized beauty, seeking perfection. Realism depicted truth, unfiltered. Pop art mirrored the world of media and commerce, full of irony. Each style reflects a unique lens, the divine, the real, and the popular. All are snapshots of their time. Renaissance art served religious patrons and elites. Realism spoke to the public, urging empathy and reform. Pop art played to the masses, mocking consumer culture while engaging it. Each movement redefined who art was for and what it could say. Modern art inherits from all three. Renaissance technique underpins realism in film and digital art. Realism's honesty informs documentary photography. Pop art's flair is felt in social media and design. Each movement shaped how today's artists tell stories visually. Art changes because society does. As politics, technology, and values evolve, so do artists' tools and messages. Whether seeking truth, beauty, or irony, art remains our mirror. From brush to screen, it reflects not just what we see, but who we are.